Well, what you're seeing here is the wonderful product of Derry Karma, and Derry Karma is down the road at Castle Bellingham, and it's the product of a family, a man and a wife and a tradition, nothing more than that. Fields and fields of yellow rapeseed in summertime, harvested at exactly the right moment. The bees will have done their business, and all of that will have occurred, and then the harvest happens. The flowers and the pods are pressed tight, and the oil begins to emerge, the filtration occurs, and then we have Derry Karma rapeseed oil and the various products. Patrick Rooney is the man behind it. How are you, Patrick?
Hello, Ron, how are you?
I'm great.
Good.
You're building essentially on a great tradition of family.
We farmed there for many generations, and what we've done now is take rapeseed oil and try to produce a consumer product with it that we can take right to the supermarket shelves.
Yeah, and do you sense that you're standing on the shoulders of good ghosts?
Oh, I think absolutely. All the people that went before me and the tradition that went before me is very important, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, all of this is traceable right back to the fields in which they were grown. There's nothing artificial.
There's nothing artificial, and it's completely traceable from the time we sowed in the fields, time we sowed the seed in the month of August, right the way through until we harvest it the following July, and then we press and we filter and we bottle it all on site, so it's fully traceable. And we're thinking of adding actually the field reference that the product is actually growing on, so that it's fully traceable. Yeah.
People very often see those vast swathes of yellow flower across the countryside in summertime, and they never quite know what's going to happen with that. But now you have the answer, because you have chili oil, you've got garlic oil, you have rapeseed oil with lemon, you have a kind of is that a mustard, a dressing?
Honey and mustard dressing.
A dressing, yeah.
Yeah, made with.
And I've discovered through you, I've discovered Derry Karma,
Yeah.
and it's a decidedly different flavour to olive oil. It's olive oil with body.
It's slightly nutty flavour.
Yeah.
There's a slight nutty flavour to it, but it's half the saturated fat of olive oil. It's 10 times the omega-3 of olive oil, and it takes high temperature cooking better than extra virgin olive oil. It doesn't burn easy on a pan. It takes 220 degrees before it'll burn.
So we should all be going towards
it's
Derry Karma.
Whether it's Derry Karma or it's an Irish rapeseed oil, regardless, it's a locally produced oil, and rather than buying imported olive oil, and the traceability on a lot of the olive oils that you're buying is highly questionable.
Yeah, we have some video to show the folk of this. Have we, Sean? We have something there that will tell us the story, and we'll maybe take that now, Sean. A low-fat alternative to olive oil, rapeseed oil is ideal as part of a healthy, low-cholesterol diet. Non-GM and totally natural, it's ideal for baking, roasting, frying, or simply drizzling on salads.
It's great for high temperature cooking because it doesn't burn as easily on the pan as olive oil. Along with the original, we also offer oils infused with garlic, chilli and lemon.
From stuffed red peppers to pan-fried lamb cutlets to healthy French fries, this versatile culinary oil adds the taste without the guilt.
Why not try some of our delicious recipes online?
Numerous British and Irish food awards have recognised Derry Karma's fine quality and taste, so that you and your family can enjoy the flavour and health benefits of Derry Karma Farm rapeseed oil. Derry Karma Farm, growing food naturally. Oilseed rape loves well-tilled fertile soil. Eco-tilling techniques avoid deep ploughing, and they build up natural nutrients. Productive honeybees help pollinate the crops. In May, the crop flowers in that familiar swathe of brilliant yellow. By late July, the bursting seed pods are ready for harvesting, then dried and stored.
The seeds are squeezed in mechanical press. Cold pressing means no heat or chemicals are used in the extraction process, thus preserving the natural goodness of the oil. Leftover cake is pressed into pellets and used for animal feed, which means zero waste.
Once settled, the oil is finely filtered to create the crystal clear liquid ready for bottling and labelling. Just filtered and bottled, totally natural, totally traceable. giving you the confidence to enjoy our range of healthy products. Dairy Kama Farm, growing food naturally. Dairy Kama Farm rapeseed oil is the natural healthy option. This culinary oil originates from those magnificent fields of yellow seen in the late spring and contains half the saturated fat and 10 times the omega-3 of olive oil. Grown from non-GM seeds, nothing is added or subtracted. It couldn't be more natural.
Our oil is 100% traceable. From the time we sow it in the field
So the bottle reaches your table.
the oil is pressed from the seeds, then it is filtered into a crystal clear liquid ready for bottling.
All here on Dairy Kama Farm, where 2 generations of the Rooney family have worked this land with pride. With diverse culinary uses, rapeseed oil has a delicious, earthy, nutty taste. A taste that has won the prestigious Great Taste Awards. Dairy Kama Farm, growing food naturally. Well, you had everything there. You had the culinary use of the oil, you had the farming of the oil, and you had the processing of the oil. But it's a science all of itself, Patrick.
It is. There's a science in growing it, growing good rapeseed, and then pressing it and getting good quality from your press is takes a wee bit of tricking around with and a bit of.
I'm bound to say to you, it's a long way from the science of rapeseed oil manufacture that you were raised. It was a different sort of farming as you were growing up.
Totally, completely different. But I think nowadays farmers need to move to being food producers rather than just pure farmers, so they can take a product nearly to the finish, to retain more of the margin for themselves.
How did you come up with the technology that is undoubtedly there at the heart of your farm and your factory?
We kind of stumbled into rapeseed oil production. We always grew rapeseed for just farming purposes, and we did like every farmer did.
And farming purposes would have been feeding fodder.
Feeding it as an animal feed.
Wow.
Yeah. And we were trying to look at how we got higher omega-3 into chickens, and somebody suggested feeding the cake that's left over when we press oil. That it's very high in omega-3. If we fed that to chickens, that would do it. And then we said, well, why aren't we pressing oil and producing the cake ourselves? And so that's how it started. And then we looked on the continent where it is up and running in Germany quite a while, and in the UK it was up and running. And we looked at what they were using and what presses they were using and what sort of things. So we developed it in, and we developed the filtration systems as we went along. So it has got better since we've started, you know.
So I'm assuming that if you cook with it, you're wiping out some of the health benefits of it, or not?
You're not, because as long as you keep any oil, as long as you don't burn it, you will keep the natural benefits of the oil if it's a good oil. But if you take any oil and you actually burn it or overheat it, you will actually break it down and destroy the oil. So as long as you keep your pan at under 220 degrees or your oven at under 220 degrees, rapeseed oil will not break down, and hence
so my roast chicken at and it gives the roast chicken a lovely colour, lovely crust. It does indeed. But so my 150 for an hour isn't going to do any harm.
Doesn't do it any harm, and your shallow frying, as long as it's under 220, doesn't do it any harm, as long as you don't burn the oil.
And how would you recommend people consume it? Obviously I'm talking about cooking with it. You drizzle with it in the case of the
honey and mustard.
The honey and mustard
is perfect for salad dressings. The market that's aimed at. The standard original product is probably the most versatile. The original oil, you can use it for, we have people using it for baking, where if you have cholesterol issues, you replace butter in all your baking, and instead of using butter, you can use oil. It's also used for shallow frying. It's also used for roasting, as you know. Makes great roast potatoes, nice crispy dry roast potatoes. Another simple way of using the garlic product is to drizzle it over slices of bread, slip
Wow.
it into your grill for 2 minutes,
I love this thing. This
and
is
you will
gorgeous.
have grilled.
Yeah.
You will have garlic bread in 2 minutes.
Garlic bread.
And it's very light garlic bread. It's
Yeah.
not very heavy.
And a nice rioja.
Yes, absolutely essential.
And I like I like plenty of garlic, I tell you. I'm mightily impressed with this, I tell you, Patrick. I know this thing. And where can people get it?
Locally in Newry, 5 Ways, in Super Value,
In Hill Street.
In Hill Street.
Michael Downey's there. He's a good man.
Absolutely. In
Yeah.
Warrenpoint, we have one of our very, very first customers was McGee's Butchers in the
McGee's
main street
Butchers, yes, he's good.
in Warrenpoint, and it's available more and more in local independent stores.
Wonderful. Local independent stores.
Mm.
The local way. The family way.
Absolutely small.
We wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Go
Rowan.
well, and thank you so much for coming
No,
in.
it was a pleasure.
That's Patrick Rooney and his much loved Derry Kama rapeseed oil, and that success story continues at a time in Ireland when business is on the back foot and not doing so well. That's it. We have come to the end of the program. I'm going to bring you into music now, and I'd like to thank you for joining me this morning, for having been on air with us, logged in with us, tuned in with us, call it whatever you wish. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 7:30 with more of my eclectic mix of music and musings. But in the meantime, as I always say to you and leave you with the thought, when you've done your very best about the challenges in your life, when you've done everything you can do to make life, to solve your problems and can do no more, leave it at that. Don't sweat the small stuff. Leave it at that. And as my African friends would tell you in the northwest of Nigeria, rest your head in your hand and leave the rest to God. Go well.